remember. It was 6 lectures. Okay, fine. So now see, up to till now we have studied what is error. Okay, so error means true value minus approximate value. Always error in mod. It should not be negative. Then we have studied types of error. So we have studied 6 types of error. So first one is inherent error. Okay, so inherent error means, just remember, inherent. In means inside. So you can remember like this: the errors which are already present in problem statement before solution. So the last 2 words are very important. Before solution, you can say it is inherent error. So best example, experimental error. Then computers, digital computers, calculators, in table, log table, we can say these are inherent error. Then rounding off error. Simply in your words, you can write the errors which are occurred due to rounding the numbers. We can say rounding off errors. So you have to explain 3 types of error. Sorry, 3 rules for rounding the number and give one example. Okay, so if you have asked to round up the number, say 2 decimal, so check first, second, check next decimal place whether it is equal to 5 or less than or greater than. Okay, just hope all of you know these 3 rules. Then truncation error. Truncation error means what? The errors which are occurred without applying rounding rules. We can say truncation error. So truncation error means if it is asked truncate the number up to 3 decimal places. Just number after decimal place, just count 1, 2, 3 and write down that number. That is approximate value as it is. Then we have studied absolute error. Absolute error means mod true value minus approximate value. Then relative error. It is the ratio of absolute error to true value. True value is in mod, and percentage relative error multiplied by 100. Then we have studied various examples. Okay, example based on rounding off rule, rounding error, then truncation error, then absolute error, then relative error and percentage relative error. Then we have studied examples on, we have checked examples on how to find error in case of volume. So you must know the volume of all solids. Okay, all solids. Fine. Then you have to take how to take partial derivative. So basic first step, you have to identify how many variables. If that equation is having 3 variables, then take derivative with respect to first variable by keeping 2 as a constant and error in first variable. Multiply it by error in first variable. So here you must know how to take derivative. How to find derivatives. So any equation, okay, or any impedance variable with respect to what? With respect to what? So you must know x raised to 3 what is its derivative, derivative of sin x cos x, like that. Then, okay, then we have studied error propagation. In simple words, you can write propagate means how that error will travel while doing arithmetic operations. Means we have 4 arithmetic operations: plus, minus, multiplication and division. Okay, so for basic requirement, just think like this. Okay, don't by heart. Error propagation. In order to explain this, what is the basic requirement? We require 2 numbers. So let's consider x and y be the 2 numbers. Then x dash y dash be the true. Just a minute. X dash y dash be the approximate value. Is it audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Audible, but everything is black.
Yeah. Light दे दीजिए. Just a minute. Hold. Audible now? Is it visible? Board is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, then we have say basic requirement to explain error propagation. We require 2 numbers. Let's x and y to be 2 value. Then we are explaining error propagation. Then you must know what is the error in x, what is the error in y. So we must know in order to find error in x and y, we require the approximate value. So we can say x dash y dash with their approximate value, and error in x 2 minus approximate x minus x dash, error in y ey is equal to y minus y dash. So rearrange this for x and y. For addition, add these two numbers. Subtraction, minus. Multiplication, okay, don't forget to remove, don't forget to neglect error into error. And division, okay, again we have to neglect values in numerator and denominator. In denominator, error square, and in numerator, error into error, then ex into ey. Then we have to check for significant digits. Okay, significant digits. There are four significant digits. Remember, all number in say 1 to 9, you can say these are significant digits. Okay, 0 is not significant digit, but if 0 is in between two numbers, then you can take that number as a significant digit. Okay, significant digit. If we have decimal points, remember 0.0100. So this is having three significant digits. Okay, again trailing and what is that word? Okay, trailing and what is that word actually? Hello.
Trailing,
Yeah,
sir.
trailing means next to. Okay, just a minute.
Leading.
Trailing and leading. Okay. Trailing and leading. Trailing means what? Next to and
Ending number.
and trailing and what that number? Leading.
Leading.
So previous don't consider. Trailing you have to consider if we have decimal point. If we don't have decimal point and we have zeros, okay, next to that number, okay, next to that number means trailing. Then don't consider just if that number is having no any decimal point. If that number is having decimal point and after that decimal point, after that you have zeros, you have to consider in case while calculating number for number significant digits. But if we have in just simple number 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 0, 0, 0, this number is having only 4. Just count this only. Don't count this one. Okay. If we have number 0.1, okay, 0.001 0, 0. So this number is having how many significant digits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we know that these zeros they are having no any value, but you have to consider if in examination if you have provided this question. Don't multiply, don't write like 0.001 and you can this number is having 3, but these zeros are given in exam. We have to consider. Okay, see, you can have such type of question for 1 mark for gate examination. Yes, you have provided any number and you have one question. Identify number of significant digits. Okay, significant digits. Okay, but in this subject, okay, that is the numerical and statistical method. You can have question. You can have numerical on this. You have to write each number 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, and you can have question. Okay, you can have one question. Okay, so this is x is equal to x dash is, okay, x dash is, okay, round up the number up to two significant digits. So after rounding the number up to two significant digits, our answer is like this. Two significant digits, 1, 2. Next one is less than 1. Don't add here 1. So you can keep adding. So you have to add. See here, this is for this. Okay, so zeros are important here. So you can have Ex absolute error is equal to x minus x dash, and we can solve this. So we have studied up to this. Okay. Now last week, see we are moving slowly because the syllabus is not yet finalized. Okay. So now we will yeah.
Hello, sir.
Our first unit. Hello.
सर आवाज येत नाही, नेटवर्कचं बहुत प्रॉब्लेम आहे सर तुम्हाला. व्हिडिओ पण मध्ये मध्ये पॉज होतोय.
ओके, कारण कॉलेजचा आहे रे पण. आता चेक करा आवाज.
ऍक्च्युली जे तुम्ही लिहितायत ना ते सगळं ब्लर होते.
हो सर, डायरेक्ट पॉज होतोय सर. तुमचं म्हणजे असं नाव येतं सर डायरेक्ट स्क्रीनवरती, मध्ये पॉज होते मध्ये.
हो दे वेट करू. ओके, आवाज येतोय का सांगा? या ऑडिबल.
यस सर, आवाज येतोय.
ओके, दिसतो का मी व्यवस्थित? बोर्ड दिसतो का? मी जे बोर्डवरचे डिजिट दिसतं का?
नो सर.
नो सर.
ते दिसत नाही मेमरी कार्ड
टोटली ब्लर्ड.
Blur आहे सर.
ब्लर दिसतंय.
एक मिनिट होल्ड. व्हिडिओ चालूच राहते, प्रॉब्लेम नाही. मीटिंग लेफ्ट करू नका, मी लेफ्ट करून जॉईन करतो. जस्ट मिनिट. काय लिहिलं ते दिसतं का रे?
येस सर.
हो सर.
हा,
येस सर.
क्लिअर
हो
दिसतंय?
सर.
ओके.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have 30, 40, 50. Let's study one method now. One method is, it is actually the latest method in case of root of equation. Now see. Okay. From this, there are 6 to 7 methods to find the exact root of, approximate root of equation. Now see, if I have to provide you one equation, y is equal to f of x is equal to 0, is equal to 0. Okay. Or I will give this example. That is f of x, y is equal to e x to x minus x. Okay, minus sin x. Now, when we can say, okay, now see this, in this equation, y is a function of x, so the root of equation means you have to find the value of x. Value of x. This is, to find this, you can use the method of what is the root of equation. The methods to find the value of unknown in given equation, you can this is root of equation. So there are two methods. Under the methods, there are 7 to 8 methods. Okay, so there should be two methods. On C, by the standard formula, we can easily solve this. Y is equal to ax square plus bx plus q. What is that formula? Yeah, any idea? X is equal to minus b plus minus under square root of b square minus e. 4 is it correct? Value 1?
2A.
2a. Okay, so by using this formula, we can easily find the value of x. In this case, we can have two values because power is 2. Now, power is 10. Y is equal to ax raised to 10. Okay, and that is equation. Okay. Again, if we have one equation like this, sin x into log to the base 10 of x plus e raised to x. So we cannot solve this by using standard formula. Okay, we cannot solve by using say standard formula. So okay, so to solve this, remember to solve this problem. Okay. The methods are introduced, so we can say these roots of equation. Okay, roots of equation. So there are two methods. One is bracketing method. Okay, bracketing method, and next one, second one important, that is iterative method. Not iterative, open method. Open method. The open method is also called as single point method. Remember this one, single point method. It is single point method. Right? Single point method. So, what is meant by bracketing method? What is meant by open or single point method? Okay, single point method. Now, the most important part. So it is in this subject we cannot get exact answer. So whatever we can from solving this by solving this equation by using these methods, okay, iterative method, direct method, okay, bracketing method, open end method. So by solving this from this method, we can have only approximate values, and while having this approximate value, always for this chapter rules of equation, always you have to check one condition. That condition is convergence condition. Okay, convergence condition. So convergence means what? Approaching towards exact root. Okay, now approaching. Okay, so what we can understand, there are two methods. Okay, and we are going to apply this method for those equations we cannot solve by using standard formula. For those methods, those equations, we can solve those equations by using root of equations. And again, by using these methods, you cannot get exact root, but you can have that root that is very much closer to your exact root. Now see. Let's take one graph, okay, and each and every equation is having graph. Let's have this one. Okay, this one. So this is y and this is n. And what is given? We have provided y is equal to f of x is equal to 0, but y is equal to f of x. So let's consider this is the graph of equation y is equal to f of x. Y is equal to, okay, you can draw like this or you can draw like this. No any problem. Now see this curve, okay, it will cut this x axis at this point, Now, if you put, so this is x axis, and what is the meaning of root of equation? To find the value of x, to find the value of unknown. And now this curve is cutting the x axis at this point, and now let's tell me, if you put this value of x in this given equation, what will be the value of y? Hello? What will be the value of y? Tell me.
0.
0.
0. Because see, at here y is 0. Means we can say this is the value of x, means we can say this is exact root. This is what? Exact root. This is what? Exact root. Now see. Okay, now see. It is already we have discussed two methods, bracketing and open. Okay, so I am explaining the bracketing method. Okay, bracketing method. So in that graph of syllabus, they have given two methods. One is bisection method and one is regular falsy method, or another name we can say is false position method. Regular falsy or false position method. One is bisection. Now we'll explain only one today. Bisection method. So in this bisection method, in this name only. So first one is we can say it is bi. Bi means what? Tell me numbers. Bi means what?
2.
2. Bi means what? 2. Okay. And what is the meaning of this bisection? So we can say it is bisect. What is the meaning of bisect? What is the meaning of bisect? Simple. Tell me. What is the meaning of bisect? Yeah?
Divide into equal parts.
Divide that line into two equal parts. Okay, divide that line into two equal parts. So see, okay, so see this, why this bisection? You can have this question, okay, in your mock examination, oral examination. See, why this bisection method is called the bracketing method. Okay, bracketing method. Now see, okay, now see. Just clear, we cannot solve these equations, we cannot do the equations, we cannot solve by using direct formula, then we can use this method. from these methods we cannot have exact root, we have approximate root. Approximate root. So we have bisection method. So bisection method, bi means 2. Bi means 2. So now here, you have to take initial guesses. Remember, you have to take initial guesses, and as name indicates, bi. Bi means 2. So we have to assume, it is up to you. You have to, that means up to you means you have to assume 2 guesses, but which value? Okay, that means you have to assume for 2 guesses which value is up to you. So it is y is equal to f of x, so x is variable. So in this bisection method, by means 2, we have to assume, we have to assume 2 initial guesses. 2 initial guesses. Okay, 2 initial guesses. So now, what is those 2 initial guesses? Why is required? Remember, it is bisection method. By means 2, we have to assume 2 initial guesses. Now, in 2015 pattern, in their question paper, or in this question paper, it is having question on bisection method. They are providing 2 guesses, but we don't know 19 pattern. Let's have. It is provided. Now, in problem statement, already you have these 2 initial guesses. 2 initial guesses, and if we have that equation, y is equal to f of x. So we have initial guesses like this: x1 is equal to and x2 is equal to x1 and x2. If these 2 initial guesses are provided in problem statement, then you can write given x1 is equal to this, x2 is equal to this. But if it is not given, then you can start with x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to 1. x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to 1. If guesses are not given. Now, why this is called as a bracketing method? So we have provided 2 guesses, that means x1 and x2. And why it is called as a bracketing method? Just I will draw one bracket. So here, first bracket means value x1, second bracket means value x2, and the approximate or exact root of equation, it will lie between these 2 values. It will lie between these 2 values. We have given y is equal to f of x is equal to 0, and why these cases? That means what? The exact value or approximate value of x will lie between this 1 and between this 0 and 1. Between this 0 and 1. Okay, 0 and 1. Okay, so see, still simple. Now see, if okay, now wait. So x1 we have assumed 0, x2 we have assumed 1. So in this graph, so this is what actual value of this is exact root. Now, okay, now see, we have to check convergence condition. Convergence and divergence. Convergence means approaching towards exact root. Divergence means away from your exact root. Okay, divergence and convergence. Remember these 2 conditions. So now, in this graph also, we have to mark these 2 values, x1 and x2. x1 and x2. But how we can mark this? Okay, let's have x1 is here, and again x2 is here. Okay, x2 is here. So now this is what bracketing method. So whatever we are assuming the values for x1, x2, values for x1, x2. Okay, then we have to check one condition, that is conversion condition, whether this assumed initial guesses 0 and 1 they are correct or wrong. Correct or wrong? We don't know. Correct or wrong. So now let's have x1, x2 here, and now where is the exact root? This is the exact root, and we have assumed 2 values x1, x2, and as per the name, we can say root lies between x1 and x2. But where is root? Root is here, so it is diverging the condition. It is diverging the condition. कळते काय सांगतो? Hello. Up to this, is it clear? Hello.
No, sir, not
clear, sir. Can you please again?
Yeah, I will repeat it again, no any problem. Now see, simple. Draw one graph, okay, whatever. So in AE, this is that graph will cut x-axis at this point. This is what exact root. How you can say exact root when you put the value of x in given equation? That means it satisfies the exact equation. That is equal to 0. Then we can say exact root. But now see. Okay, the equations having power say 1000 or power 50, 100, 500, or that equations having exponential, logarithmic, trigonometric, okay, equation forms, then we cannot find the exact solution. Okay, so why these approximate methods are required? Okay, so for those equations having trigonometric, logarithmic, okay, that means bigger equations. We can use this approximate method or the roots of equations. So here we have two methods. Bracketing, we discuss later about open method. Bracketing method, so this bracket, and under the head of bracketing we have first method, bisection method. So remember name only, bisection method. Bi means two and bisect means divide these two numbers. Now bi means two, so it is required to assume two initial guesses. If initial guesses are not given in problem statement, then start with 0. See here, this is the function of x. That's why I have taken here x1 and x2. So let's have initial guesses are not given in problem statement. Then we can take x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to 1, x2 is equal to 1. Okay. Or it is up to you if guesses are not given. One can start with like this. I can take x1 is equal to 3, x2 is equal to 2. No any problem. Okay, you can take x1 is equal to 5, x2 is equal to 6. No any problem. It is up to you. It is up to you. But these are the guesses. These are the not exact values of x1 and x2. Remember, this is important. These are the not exact values of x1 and x2. So in some cases, yes, I have taken x1 is equal to 5, x2 is equal to 5, 6, and when I have plotted on this graph, okay, plotted on this graph and see this bracketing method. So the root lies between these two values, x1 and x2. These two values, so this is first bracket, second bracket. That's why this bisection method is under the head of bracketing method. So we have provided bracket in case of guesses x1. Now I have chosen x1 is equal to 5, x2 is equal to 6. But we don't know whether the value of root, whether it lies inside this bracket or outside this bracket. We don't know this condition. We don't know this condition. Okay. Now see, yeah, we can say these two cases are correct. Means that root lies between these two values, or root does not lie between these two values. So you have to identify whether the assumed guesses are correct or wrong. This is the first case under the head of bisection method. That means what? Assume initial guesses and check whether these guesses are correct or wrong. Okay, correct or wrong. We don't know. Now, okay, just plot these two values, x1, x2 on this graph. Okay, so this is the x1, this is the x2. Now these two values are assumed by me or assumed by you. So we don't know whether these two values are correct or wrong. But if in problem statement, if those values are given, let's take x1 is equal to 0.5, x2 is equal to 1. Then you can say these two values are correct. But you have to show, yes, these values are correct by applying one condition. Remember this, by applying one condition. And that condition name is convergence condition. There are two, convergence condition and divergence condition. Again, remember, convergence means approaching towards exact root. Divergence means away from exact root. So you have to choose initial cases x1, x2 in such a way that they are satisfying this convergence condition. If I have taken assume 5, 6, if it fails the convergence condition, then again you have to assume new cases. If you start with 0, 1, if it fails to satisfy this condition, then go with 1, 2. If does not satisfy the condition, again you can take 2, 3. Means x1, 0, x2, 1. If it does not satisfy this condition, means initial guesses are wrong. That means the root does not lie between these two values. So this condition is here. So now we have assumed x1, x2 here, okay, here, and we can say root lies between these values. So by observing this pattern, by observing this only, is it the root lies between x1 and x2? Yeah, tell me, is it the root lies between, where is the exact root? This is the root. But by observing this, can you see the root lies between x1 and x2? Tell me. Hello? Yeah? Hello? No, because see, it is here. The root does not lie between this, because root is outside this bracket, outside this bracket. Okay, so by observing this graph, you can easily tell, yes sir, root does not lie between these two brackets. Okay, so for satisfying the conversion condition, you have to take two initial guesses in such a way that one case it is towards left side of this exact root, and one case it must be towards right side of this exact root. That means x1 it will be here and x2 it will be here. So in this case, you can say root lies between x1 and x2. Is it correct? Hello? Tell me, is it correct or wrong? Hello? Hello? Is it correct? Hello?
Yes, sir. Correct.
It is what is happening. Simple something. Wait. See, this is the exact root. Okay, it is bisection method. By means to assume two cases. Yes, I have assumed two cases. And if these two cases are towards one side, towards right side or left side of this exact root. Okay, see here. These are the two cases. By observing these two cases and this exact root, we cannot say root lies between this, because root is away from these two values. That means we can say these assumed cases are wrong. They are not correct. Remember. So now in order to have root in between these two values, what is the condition? You must have one root towards one value, that means assumed case towards right side and one towards left side. So now see, in actual problem solving method, it is not required to plot this graph. Remember, and it is not required to plot this graph in 0, 1, mark as 0, 1 problem graph. Okay, so there is one formula, and just here we can create this formula. See how? Okay, now here x1, x2. So here we can say root does not lie between these two values. Okay, it is not required to plot this graph. Each and every numerical, just go up. So this is what we can say, this is y1, and go up. We can say this is y2. Now tell me how we can find y1 and y2. Hello? How we can find y1 and y2? Tell me.
By putting values of x in the
Put value of x1 in this, we have y1. Put value of x2 here, we have y2. And now if you take its multiplication, y1 into y2, y1 into y2. So we have its multiplication. Is it less than 0 or greater than 0? Hello? Less than 0 or greater than 0? Tell me.
greater than 0.
Greater than 0. Okay. Greater than 0. It is from, say it is first quadrant. Plus. So it is greater than 0. Okay. Greater than 0. And that means what? That means what? If the root does not lie between two values, so we can say the product of y1 and y2 is greater than 0. Greater than 0. And now, if this is the value of x1, that means one is towards left side, one is towards right side, x2. And we find value of y1. So the sign of y1 here, it is plus or minus. Fourth quadrant,
Minus.
Sign of we deal only with sign. And here go up. by 2. It is plus or minus?
Plus.
Plus.
Plus. So your sign is plus. And if you take this multiplication, y1 into y2, then it must be less or greater.
Less than 0.
Y1 sign is minus, y2 is plus. So we can say it is minus. So we can say it is less than 0. So y1 into y2 is less than 0. So this is our convergence formula. This is important. Convergence formula. Okay. So for these two methods, first one is the bisection method, second one is regular Folsom method. What is the conversion condition? The product of y1 and y2, it should be less than 0. Remember, write down this. Okay, write down this. The product of y1 and y2, it should be less than 0, so that we can say assume initial cases are correct. If you find y1 into y2 is greater than 0, then you can say assumed cases are wrong. Then you have to take new initial cases. Means here it is you taken 5, 6, so you can start with yes. X1 is 5, we can easily find y1, y2, take multiplication. Yes, if you find it is positive, then you can say the assumed cases are wrong. Then you have to take new initial cases. X1 is equal to 6, x2 is equal to 7. And again find out y1, y2, take it multiplication. If you find it is less than, it's negative, so we can say it is less than 0, then you can say it satisfies the convergence condition. And so we can say the root lies between these new initial cases x1 and x2. Up to this, any doubt? Hello? Up to this, any doubt? Hello? Hello? By observing this graph, we can easily say, but it is not, we can draw every graph at each and every method. So simple, find out, just once we have experiment, so find out y1, y2, take it multiplication, keep it less than 0. That's fine. We can say root lies between these two values. If it is greater than 0, we can say these initial cases are wrong. Then we can go with new initial value. Up to this, any doubt? Tell me. Yeah. If yes, then I will explain again. No problem. Yeah. Hello. Or simple. Just remember conversion condition for bisection method, and there is second method, regular Folsom method. The conversion condition is y1 into y2 is less than 0. If y1 into y2 greater than 0, then we can say initial cases or provided cases are wrong. But if you have cases in problem statement, then those problem statements should be correct. But we have to again show it. Yes, find out y1, y2, take a multiplication. If it is less than 0, yes, we can say it is root lies. These initial cases are correct. Up to this, any doubt? We have last 10 minutes. Yeah, tell me, any doubt?
Sir, this is applicable for only this function or any function?
This function it is applicable to this method only, bisection and regular or false position method. Okay, for another we
Consider
have
y equal to f of x, no?
y is equal to f of x. So see
Then
here,
f of x can be any function or this
any
particular.
function. We say if x fine, y is equal to something x plus e raised to x. Okay, it is applicable. Y is equal to any logarithmic trigonometric, any function. It is applicable. Any function it is applicable. Remember, any function. Again, y is equal to a b raised to x plus a x square plus bx plus c. This can also be solved by using this method. No any problem. Yeah, any doubt? Ask me. Simple. It is very simple. Bisection. Bi means to bisect. Again, see, we have not discussed about bisecting two numbers. It is in next part. Up to this, any doubt? Hello.
So means it is a trial and error method.
It is trial and error. But see, again remember, yes, it is trial and error, but see, yes, we can say this is x1, x2. Okay, now I have not discussed this yet. X1, x2. Now it is bisect. Bisect means divide that line into two equal parts. Now we have just a minute. But see, okay, it is trial and error, but you can have root that is having very much near to your exact root. I performing number of iterations. Number of iterations. So what is iteration? This is what we what is iteration? Now see, up to this, yes, root of equation, bisection method. Okay, bisection method. Just remember, bi means two and bisect. Okay, bi means two means we have two cases, x1 and x2. Okay, x1 and x2. See, we have not discussed about root of equation or approximate root of equation. Now see here, I have assumed these two initial cases and I have checked these two cases for convergence condition. So what is the convergence condition? That is y1 into y2, this product it should be less than 0. It should be less than 0 means one is both are having opposite sign. If it satisfies the condition, then we can say these assumed cases are correct. These assumed cases are correct. Assumed cases are correct. Now what next? What next? Now what? I will draw this again. On I will draw this. Yes. These two are correct means one is having towards left or towards right. Yes. This is x1. Okay. And say this is x2. Then we can check conversion condition or say y1, y2. Yes, here the product is less than 0. What next now? Now, bisect these two numbers. Bisect the two numbers or take its average. So now see, x1, x2. Okay, initial case is x1, next case is x2. Okay, then after bisecting, we have new value of x, assign that as an x3. So x3 is equal to bisect this bracket, then x1 plus x2 whole bracket divided by 2. Divided by 2. It is our first iteration. Just check here. First iteration means we are repeating same formula or same method. First iteration. Just concentrate here. This is important. Iteration means repeating task. Now see, first iteration we have x3. That is x1 plus x2 by 2. As they indicated, bisect to divide these two numbers. Now let's have x3 is here. Okay, x3 is here. Okay, just listen. See, x3 is here. So now x3 is here. Now again by observing these 3 points, and this is what exact root. We have assumed x1, x2. Yes, these two cases are correct. Y1, y2 product less than 0. Now we have taken its average of bisect and we have x3 here. Now, can you say the root lies between x1 and x3? Hello? Tell me, can you say root lies between x1 and x3?
No.
No, because the value of exactly is not in between these. But we can say root lies between x3 and x2. x3 and x2. Remember, because the root lies, it is the value of exact root, it is in between x3 and x2. So now, once we find the value of x3, okay, value of x3, again, you have to check the conversion condition, that is sign of y3 with this y1. Now here, say y1 is minus here. Here, y2 is plus. Now in this case, y3 is minus. Y3 is a minus. Then again, once you do first iteration and once we have new value of x3 here, then immediately find out y3 and check the conversion condition for x1, x3, whether the root lies between these two or root lies between these two. Okay, root lies between these two. That means we have to check its product. Y1 into y3 minus plus. You cannot say root lies between these two. Again check this plus minus. We can say this minus, so root lies between these two. Root lies between these two. But we have one standard formula, that is x3 is equal to x1 plus x2 by 2. So it is not like that. For first iteration x3, second iteration x4, so next iteration x5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Use same formula. Use same formula. In the formula we have x1, x2. So now here x2 is fixed, and now this we have to replace here. Instead of writing x3, we can say this is the value of again x1. Now it is not required. So you can say root lies between these. Again go for next iteration, means again x3 is equal to x1. Again bisect these two numbers and then you have value of x3 here. Then go up. This is y3. Now here y3 is having plus sign. Here y3 so it is y1. Minus, you can take this multiplication, this negative, if you can see root lies between these two. That means at each and every step, we have to check sign of y3. We have to check sign of y3 and we have to check its conversion condition with y1 and y2. Y3 and y1. Each product is minus, then we can say root lies between these two. So see here. Here we can see lies between this and this. Again take its average. Here we can see lies between this value and this value. Again take what is average. Then you are here. You can see lies between these two. Again it is average again. So that means after doing number of iterations, see it is rather than say it is trial and error method, but we have to perform in order to have more accuracy. We have to perform more number of iterations. More number of iterations means see this subject. Okay, I had this subject in my engineering. In that in examination they have asked for this question to do 6 number of iterations. But while in Master of Engineering they have asked to do 15-20 iterations. Okay. 15-20 iterations, so that you can have that means approaching towards exact truth. So more number of iterations means more accuracy. More accuracy. Do you understand this? Hello? Hello? It is just for only understanding purpose. This graph. It is for only understanding purpose. Now, without drawing this graph, also I will explain by drawing one single line. Simple. This is for understanding purpose. It is not required to count. Say this is x1. Say this is x2. Find out y1. Find out y2. Yes. Check its convergence. Check its multiplication. Yes, it is minus. Then we can root lies between this. Go for first iteration. Find out x3. Exact need x3. Find out y3. Now take multiplication of y1 y3. Okay. If it is plus. If it is plus. Check then it is plus means it should be minus. Take multiplication of y3 and y2. It is minus. Then you can say root lies between x2 and we require always we require here x1. Right here x1. Right here x1. Then again go for next iteration. Find down here. So take this average this formula. Then say x3. Find out y3. Okay. Find out here y3. Again take this product. Take this product. Okay. If this product is minus, then we can say root lies between these two. So already we have x1. So this value replace this value by 2 and this value by x2. Again find out new value x3. Again find out y3. Okay, it's y3. Now again with the multiplication s, it is minus. Then we can see root lies between this. So x1 is as it is. Replace this x3 by x2. This is my x by 2. Again take this here find out x3. Again find out y3. And now check y3 by 1. If it is plus, cancel, does not add to these two. If I apply it minus, you can see plus between these two. So here xp, so if there is xp by x1, this is y1. So again, you can here again. So you are approaching towards exact. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Tomorrow we'll solve numerical. In numerical, see, if in this in exam you can this question for 6 marks, so we have to perform 6 number of iterations. Always, if it is mentioned, then do. If it is not mentioned, then you have to always perform 6 numbers of iterations. Remember this 6 number of iterations, and it is not required to show this formula each and every iteration. So you have to show one iteration in detail. In detail means what? X3 find out X3 and Y3. Finish. And then remaining 5 iterations you have to show in table form. In table form we will discuss in later. It is not required to use this formula again and again. It is in tabular form. It is very simple. By observing only these values, you can say yes, the root lies between x1 and x3 or x2 and x3. Okay. If anyone, if x2 and x3, if x2 as it is, replace this value of x1, x3 by x1. If this one, if this one x1 is as it is, replace this value of x3 by x2. Just only say alphabet or variable x3, x2. Don't start the numbers. Remember. Is it okay? Hello. Tell me.
Sir,
But
when we consider the graph of y is equal to e raised to x, it always lies above x-axis. So
okay,
for any
see,
value of
I have
x,
just given the example e raised to x, but along with e raised to x, you can have any e raised to x minus 3x, e raised to x plus cos x, sin x, like that. Just given an example. You cannot have like this, or you cannot have example y is equal to log x to the base e. No, it is not like that. Remember that. In order to have root, that graph, it must have to cut this x line. Na? Okay, so those equations in problem in examination, they can manage like this. Okay, no need to draw graph in exam. No need to draw graph in exam. Okay. Hello.
thank you, sir.
Any doubt? Tell me. This is very simple method. Just we are okay beyond this 11.03. Okay, fine. Okay, shall we stop? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, chalo, fine, thank you.
Thank
Don't
you,
miss
sir.
tomorrow's lecture. Remember, don't miss tomorrow's lecture. We will solve numerical based on this method. Okay, chalo, you can join your next lecture. Okay, chalo, bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.